Hello everyone, welcome to another Bass Singer Reaction. This is an extra weekly video because so many people have recommended this. Now this song, the original by Dire Straits, which is a British rock band, has a special place in my heart because when I was a kid driving to the baseball park on the weekends and during the weeks for practice, my dad would play Dire Straits' Greatest Hits album. This is one of the songs on there, so I've been listening to the original song since I was probably 5 or 6 years old. And I absolutely love it. This is one of my favorite songs from that Greatest Hits album. So I guess you could say it's one of my favorite Dire Straits songs ever. The original arrangement, which Home Free does here, is by a group called Club for Five. And the bass singer for that is Tuukka Haapaniemi, who, in my opinion, is one of the most skilled basses on the planet. He has done some things with his voice that I can't even imagine doing. So go check out Tuukka and Club for Five if you haven't. Guys, please like and subscribe to this video. Help pump it into that algorithm, help my channel grow. And if you really want to support me, please consider donating to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Link is in the description below. So let's check this out. I can only assume that our dear beloved bass Tim Faust is going to take that solo that Tuukka usually does. And beyond that, I am really excited to hear this. The original is absolutely stunning. Go listen to it if you haven't. And Home Free always does a wonderful job. So let's go ahead and dive in, guys. This is a first time reaction for me. First time reaction, which I don't get to do very many of because I've heard most of the content already. So yeah, let's see what Home Free does with this. All right, good. I really like how they're starting this off. It is very much how the original starts, very low-key, allows them to go places, and I think it's smart to start all, not just low-key, but the lowest key phonation you can do is pretty much an So they're in A-flat minor, I believe. G-sharp minor. Either one of those keys is kind of a nightmare in terms of sheet music, but if you're just singing in a group, it doesn't really matter so much what the key is. It's kind of whatever feels comfortable for the voice. But I really like that they're starting this on an It's very beautiful. It's very calming, and of course, blends really nicely. If you have a group of people, in a circle or in an arc or in a choral setting, singing on an vowel, that blends really nicely, just based on the harmonic structure of the spectral envelope of the frequencies that are created by making that sound. So I love that they started it that way. I'm going to back it on a second. I think going to assume Tim is going to come in unless they've taken the octave back up to the original. But let's just back it up just a second, and then we're going to get into this first verse of the solo.
These mist-covered mountains are a home now for me, but my home is the lowlands, and always will be.
Let's stop there for a second. So beautiful, and this is in a nice, very low, meaty part of Tim's voice. So in the bass voice, as you go down towards the extreme, real basses like Tim, the voice will actually open up and get a bit bigger towards the low end before shutting down when they get into the extreme. So I think for Tim, at least when he is in probably some beefy morning voice, I bet his voice opens up a bit around like a low C. The notes he's singing here is B1, just below low C. You can hear it in the Home Free Sea Shanty medley when he's singing those low Cs in the Wellerman. and they're thick. They're really thick. And actually what happens is the voice thins out a little bit and then opens back up and then thins out again right at the extreme. So this sounds like it's in a very meaty place for Tim's voice. Nice thick sound, which is really nice. And he's keeping it, again, he's not trying to create a ton of volume. If you were to hear this live, it's supposed to be soft spoken. It's kind of like a prayer in a way. This song is, an ode. So Tim sounds wonderful as always, and you can tell he's intentionally being soft and breathy with it, but it's really nice. I would love to go. I'm going to go back and just listen to that again because I think that B1 right out of the gate is rare, especially in a solo line. So it's cool to hear a kind of song where, I mean, all these a cappella groups showcase the bass voice in solos, but it's rarely coming straight out of the gate with a B1 in chest. So I think this is worth listening to again. Also, one other thing to point out, I like how the intro is so low key, but then they take it back even one more level before the voice comes in, and they settle on this A flat minor chord, and it's really beautiful. So they have all four voices, or tenor, bass, however they have structured this arrangement. I have not seen the sheet music that Club for Five wrote, but all the voices are singing, and then they remove most of them right before Tim comes in. So it's like, it's calm, it's settling, and then they remove even more to strip it down even further to allow more room, more space for Tim's beautiful solo voice to come in. So I went to 27 seconds here. I think it's going to happen in a few seconds. You're going to hear all the voices in, and then some are going to drop out, and then Tim's going to come in shortly after.
Mist-covered mountains,
Gorgeous,
are a home now for me. But my home is the lowlands, and always will be. Someday you'll return to your valleys and your farms, and you'll no longer burn to be brothers in arms.
Bruh. So we got down to that A flat one. Oh, you could see me closing my eyes. I was really listening to the background parts because I know the melody, I know the words for the solo, and I know Tim sounds great on it. So there's, nothing super new we're going to get there. For my listening experience that we're going to get there. So I was listening to the backgrounds to see what they did, and it's all high on oo. Oo, as I've talked about before, oo is another vowel that blends really well. And there's all these moving parts kind of intertwining. And what you get, if you listen carefully, is there are these moments of dissonance. But it's that kind of dissonance I've talked about before, where you can feel where that resolution is going. And so it doesn't feel like this uncomfortable dissonance that's not going to resolve, like you might use in like a darker themed cover or something. It's the kind of dissonance where it happens, but you can already feel it beginning to resolve itself, which creates almost a more calming feeling. It's like you've gone through this very slight patch of rough auditory experience, and then it resolves into these beautiful chords. So that's what was happening in the background. You can go back and listen. It's not worth going back and pointing out every single moment. Just go back and try to think about and notice when you feel that auditory clash for a second, when these voices are moving, the background voices, and pay attention to how the notes resolve from one chord into the next. It's really cool. It's fascinating. It's very bare bones, but I think it's a really excellent first verse to this song. So I'm really loving this. They're doing the original justice so far. And it's also pretty cool that Club for Five is getting some attention for this because they're a wonderful group. And like I said, Tuca is an unbelievable bass. So definitely go check them out.
these fields of destruction, baptisms of fire. I've witnessed your suffering as the battles raged higher.
Great. So very clear differences here. We have Chance singing the octave one higher. I don't know what the original key is for this song, but this would be in that. This would be in that octave, like the kind of normal rock octave. What a rock ballad, like first verse of rock ballad octave before. Most rock singers will end up taking it up crazy high, but it doesn't do the original for Dire Straits. Does not do that either. It keeps it very cool the whole time. So call him Chance for confusion's sake. Chance, beautiful. I love his, because he has the bass range, but I love his voice in this register, the kind of baritone to high baritone register. It's just very smooth and easy, and it's great. And I love I love Tim taking the really low stuff, and then Adam taking the Chance taking the baritone stuff. It seems to really work for this group. In backgrounds, in the first verse, we'd gone from the and now we're doing a bunch of oohs, ohs, even towards like an ah for bigger moments. And just here at the end, we even got a little bit of text. So let's see what that text was. But for the most part, we've shifted from ms in the first verse to some more vowels, which naturally create more volume, more open mouth position. So it's the intensity is revving up. That's kind of the effect of that. So octave up in the solo and more open vowels in the background.
Battles raged
higher. So battles raged higher. Then they have like kind of a sweeping waterfall effect of the background voices saying higher, kind of cascading one to the next. Really nice touch.
And though they did hurt me so bad, in the fear and alarm, you did not desert me, my brothers in arms.
Nice. And then we have this nice little interlude all on ah vowels. So when a group opens up to ah vowels, it's like we want to create volume, we want to create a wall of sound. And so they're clearly doing that here. They're keeping the harmonic structure the same. This is a piece the goal here would not be to flip it on its head and make some hyper creative cover. In a way, I think it's much better to kind of stick to the script in the sense that they're not changing the chords, because it's such a beautifully pure kind of song, the original is. And some songs that are like that, you don't really want to change much. You want to just convert it into a cappella, but not flip the song on its head. Then there's other songs where it feels like just the nature of the song, there's a lot more freedom to do that, to keep the kind of ethos of the original. So I really like that they are really staying true to how the original one was laid out. It's just gorgeous, and it's really beautiful to hear it in a professional, polished a cappella setting like this. So shouts to Home Free for taking this on and doing such a great job with it. Let's back up just a hair and then keep going. Oh, also we got a nice A flat 1, G sharp 1 from Tim at the end of this interlude.
There's so many different worlds, so many different suns.
Now that's a cool effect because, again, it's kind of like a text painting thing. So many worlds, and then you hear worlds. So it's like there's all these worlds. So many different suns. sun. So not only do you get that text, but the repeat via that echo effect that the audio engineers used, it kind of invokes the image of there being multiple worlds, multiple suns, as opposed to them just saying it. It kind of helps lead the imagination in a text painting kind of way. Cool, very cool effect.
And we have just one world, but we live in different ones.
Now, interesting. So what I would have done if I were producing this is I would have had so many different worlds, so many different suns. Let me get that line. Let me get the next line.
World, and we have just one world.
We have just one world. And then don't repeat it, because now we're just talking about one world, not these other worlds. That's what I would have done. I would have removed that echo. So it's have so many different worlds, so many different suns, but we have just one world. It's like silence, and just let it sit. But we live in different ones, maybe something like that. But just an artistic choice that I would have done differently. But to each his or her own.
World, but we live in different ones.
We come back. We also had some nice. Maybe E flat. At least up to an E5, possibly higher. I'm not going to go back and check, but if you're interested in the high harmonic stuff, go back and listen to that interlude, because there was more high singing happening than in the previous interlude, and than any of the previous verses. So that was cool. They kind of stacked some extra harmonies way on top to fill out the whole frequency spectrum there. Go back just a hair, because it looks just Tim's body language suggests that he might be, and based on how far we are in the song, he might finish the song off down the octave again, which would be pretty cool.
Now the sun's gone to hell, and the moon's riding high. Let me bid you farewell. Every man has to die, but it's written in the starlight. And every line in your palm, we're forced to make war on our brothers in arms.
Beautiful. And yeah, G sharp 1 again, chest for Tim, which I believe is a note he probably has every day. Maybe only in the mornings, but that's definitely not the absolute bottom for Tim, but definitely towards the bottom. So very, very similar structural wise to that first verse, with the background being on ooze and just kind of bare bones. You know, Tim singing the same thing. He's not singing this verse any more intensely than he did that first verse. It's very much in that same kind of spiritual prayer-like ethos, and it's really wonderful. It sounds so good in his voice. So big shout out to Tim for doing this song a lot of justice in that solo. Yeah, let's finish off. Beautiful job. So I think they did a really nice job. Of course, this is an arrangement by a different group. So I believe they did do the exact same arrangement. I think it is now credited in their description. So again, check out Club for Five and Tuca singing this solo. But really, bravo to Home Free. I think it's just beautiful and it's pure, and it's of course it's a great message. Both supporting our brothers in arms and hoping for peace and all those good things. So it's a serious piece. It's not a laughing ha kind of thing. It's a serious, beautiful ballad. And that's how it was written, a rock ballad by Dire Straits. Tim sounds wonderful. Chance sounded wonderful on that baritone solo. I think they did all the right things in terms of the background and kind of building it in a way, but not building it, so intense that it loses that ethos that is really a core part of this piece. So big shout out to Home Free. Well done. Really beautiful job. And one last thing to point out is that there was no vocal percussion, not at all, unless I missed something, not even a single sound effect, not a single hi-hat, not a shh, anything like that. It was just pure, raw, a cappella, almost like chamber choir with solo voice. So again, I've said it 100 times already. It's beautiful, beautiful job. I really enjoyed listening. I think it honors the original, and I think Club for Five's arrangement is wonderful and beautiful and pure, and I think Home Free did a great job with it. So, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye-bye.